Ricky in Jamesville, Georgia. Ricky, line 1, you're live.
Yeah, thank you, John.
You got it,
bud. I
bud.
wanted to say a few words.
Yes, sir.
You what? Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
I just wanted to say a few words about the vice president. He came to Georgia, and campaigned for Loeffler and Perdue, and he got up on stage and he said that he was going to fight until every legal vote was counted, and until every illegal vote was not counted. And I believe he lied to the people of Georgia, and I think he should apologize to the people of Georgia for misleading us. And, what are we going to do when Biden comes after our guns? Because that's what they've said they're going to do. They're going to come after our guns. And are we going to stand up then, or are we going to wait? And for a lawyer to say something, or for a judge to rule some way? And I think people need to keep calling for Rasmusburger to resign and for Governor Kemp to resign. If we let up on these politicians, they'll never change. So I just want to thank you, John, for giving us a voice, and that's my opinion. I'll hang up now and let you say something. Thank you.
Well, Ricky, so far you're caller of the day. And thank you for that. So, yes, you're right. Mike Pence came to Georgia 6 or 7 times. I mean, I was at 3 of his rallies. One was in Augusta, I think, and one was in Canton, which is a suburb about an hour north of Atlanta. That was 2. And then I went to another one. I can't really think of, I think it was Savannah or something. I went to 3 of his rallies, and at all 3, for Loeffler and Perdue, he said the same thing. He would fight for every legal vote and fight to get rid of every not legal vote. And he didn't do that, so he did lie. Yes, I mean, it is what it is. You can spin it, but we got to start holding these people accountable. And Mike Pence will never get elected to anything nationally again. Maybe he can go back and run for Congress or something in Indiana. We'll let Indianans decide on that. But if he runs for president in 2024, he's not going to win a state. We're done with that. Nice guy. Thank you for your service. Appreciate it, but you're done. Because we're done with that. Because we have the numbers to control the party. Governor Kemp, done. Lieutenant Governor Cosmo, man. Jeff Duncan, done. Raffensperger, done. We're going to find candidates in Georgia. We're going to run them all. I'm going to have a tremendous network there in 2 years with your help. Go to johnfredericksradio.com, and they're gone. And yes, there's going to be multiple people in the primary. But here's the beauty of Georgia. Number one, they'll never be able to cheat in a Republican primary. Not going to happen. Secondly, right now in this session, the Georgia General Assembly is going to change the voter laws if they're not afraid of Stacey Abrams and getting sued and being called racist and other unbecoming things. If they have the courage to stand up to it, beach balls, the senator will be on at 8. We'll ask him. We'll open up for calls. You can ask him yourself. 8 o'clock. Call him up. Ask him. 888-480-JOHN. Guy's tough. And we're going to get rid of Raffensperger. But the beauty of the Georgia system is that you got to get 50%. So let's say there's 3 people challenging, pick one, Kemp, and Kemp is ahead with 35%. He's got to go to a runoff. And the candidate with the second highest votes gets in it with him, and he will lose. And we will beat them all. And you talk about motivated voters. But, Ricky, you're right. They're going to come after our guns, just like Beto said. They're going to come after your guns. And they're going to try to pass restrictive gun legislation. But they've got a 1-seat majority. They've got a tie in the Senate. And if you think Joe Manchin in West Virginia is going to vote to take your guns away, you got another thing coming. You think John Tester in Montana is going to vote to take your guns away, you got another thing coming. These people will be annihilated in Montana and West Virginia. They'll be annihilated. And we're going to put huge pressure on them. Let's get to the phone lines. Let's get to Steve in Tampa, Florida, home of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Steve, you're live. Line one.
Go Bucks. We're going to the Super Bowl.
You got a hell of a shot.
Yeah. Hey, John, I know you guys, you paint a pretty picture that, we're going to win this, we're going to win that later on. But, there was never any of this supposed to happen. These Democrats have found a weakness. They took advantage of it, and now they're going to run. They're going to run all the way to the touchdown again because they have fixed this electoral system so good, we, as Republicans, can't even touch it. We can't even touch it with a 10-foot pole if we tried to. They are so good at what they've done. Not only did they fix the election, but they have countries, foreign countries, infiltrated into our country. I'm sorry. I hate to admit it, and I hate to say it because I did 20 years in the Marine Corps, and I fought 3 effing wars to make this country free. And I'm standing here today saying we are done. They beat us from within inside and didn't even fire a shot.
Yes.
So, how are we going to defeat these guys?
Well, the first thing to winning is you have to recognize where you are, Steve. And I think you summed it up. And my answer to everything you said is yes. They've taken over. China now runs America. The CCP infiltrated everything, including our financial system, all of our software. They unleashed this virus on us. They proved us for the cowards we are. Imagine if you're the CCP right now, Steve. You got to be laughing at these people that are cowering with these, hazmat suits on over a virus. I know, it's deadly to some people, but, you got to live. All right, let's get to Eric in Bernie Sanders land in Vermont. Eric, you're live on the John Fredericks Show, line one.
What's going on, John?
Not much, man.
We need to hit them in the wallet. Where have their stocks gone in the last 24 hours?
Love it.
I think that's the only thing that we can do to affect them right now.
Sure.
Honestly.
Yeah, but look, they got the money and the power because we're spending all the money with them, and their stocks go up. Twitter last night lost 6% of the value. They lose another 6.
I was watching the numbers drop.
They lose another 6% today. You're talking billions and billions of dollars.
Billions of dollars.
Billions
out of their wallet.
Out of the stakeholders.
Everybody.
The board members. Billions of dollars. You want to get their attention? That's how you get it. Deplatform them.
I agree with the last caller about the list and stuff, but immediately people started pulling their accounts. You're not getting the ad revenue anymore.
Right.
So you want to attack all of us and demonize us the way that you're doing. Go ahead, do it. Then we're gonna take the money from you.
All right, here. Carmen just texted in from Miami and said Twitter lost 12% in 2 days. So let's go for 20. Like, I had 40,000 Twitter followers, and now I've got like 28. And I'm like, what happened to 12,000 followers? They just announced they just purged 77,000 Q accounts. Yeah.
Even people that weren't even at the rally on the 6th.
Anybody that posted that they were there, they deplatformed. Plus, you got people.
I got banned off Twitter about a month ago. I've been banned off Facebook for 2 consecutive months now. So I'm not going back to either one of those platforms.
Okay, so all right, Eric. So you got banned off Twitter. Are you dead? No, you're talking to me, right?
Yeah.
Did it affect your life?
To me, it's a badge of honor. To be honest,
this fear of
the last guy he was all gloomy talking about like, oh, we're done. No, see, that's where you're wrong. You're losing pace.
That's what they want you to do, Eric. They want you to quit and say we're done. They want you to be afraid. That's why the content manager of Forbes put that piece out. Don't hire Trump people. What do you do now? If you donated to the Trump campaign, do you get black listed and you can't fly on an airplane? Is that where we're going with this? Fine.
And that's and look,
Fine.
They're already trying to stop Ted Cruz and Josh Hawley. They're trying to put them on the no-fly list now.
Yeah, I mean, let him do it. Let him do it. Because for every negative action, there is a bigger positive reaction if you can find it. We got to find it. And we're on to that. Let him put him on a no-fly list. Let him crack down. Let him take your freedom of speech away. Go ahead. Do it in the short term, because in the long term, they're done. Because we have voters, we have numbers, and we have speed, and we have disposable income. And they think we're all just going to tuck tail and go in a hole.
And just go in the hole and just shut up and not be heard, not be seen.
Yeah, not going to happen.
And I got to say, listen, I live in Vermont. I live in one of the most liberal states. However, we have some of the most relaxed gun laws in the country.
Yep.
Still, surprisingly, thank the Lord, that is still the way it is. I don't know how, but we do. and I'd like to see them come and take them.
Well, they're going to try, and they're going to get voted out.
I know, they've been trying for years.
They're going to get voted out. I mean, it's simple. I mean, if you think that Joe Manchin is going to get reelected in 2024, if he's part of taking guns away from West Virginians, or you think John Tester with that stupid crew cut he has in Montana, baling hay or whatever he does, you think he's going to get reelected in Montana if he's taking your guns away? I don't think so. So look,
why are they not reporting? Why are they not reporting on the fact that the Capitol was attacked before the speech was even over with?
During the speech.
That's what I'm saying.
Before the speech. I mean, the speech wasn't even
going on
because it's their narrative. It's baloney. Trump didn't do anything.
Unbelievable.
Trump did nothing wrong here, and he's going to get exonerated. And look, you saw the Rasmussen poll the other day. His numbers are better.
Oh, his numbers are through the roof now.
They're through the roof. Because this is the thing.
This
is the thing. Everybody just hear me out and Eric out. We're not stupid. We were silent, and we are silent no more. We are not a cheap date. Okay, we are now involved.
I don't want to go into the realm of conspiracy theories, but while I'm here, I gotta thank my brother, because it wasn't for him years ago opening my eyes. He started me on the whole fluoride path of fluoride in our water and all that stuff, and it brought me down some weird stuff, some weird rabbit holes. I will admit. However, it brought me to the light of the truth, brought me more closer to God, and I gotta thank him for that. So James, thank you.
Listen, whatever it takes, Eric. Whatever it takes. Great call. Thank you. 888-480-JOHN. Whatever it takes. Amy in Atlanta says, take our phones away, we'll use pigeons. See, that's the attitude you have to have. They're not going to take our phones away, we'll raise pigeons. That's the attitude you got to have. I mean, okay, so they banned Eric from Vermont on Facebook. Is he dead? No, we just talked to him. They banned him on Twitter. Is he broken homeless? I don't think so. Did he sound homeless? I don't think so. He has a phone. Eric's got a phone. He called in. Oh, his phone works. Eric from Vermont. He's got a phone. He's got a gun. This is, the deplatform. This is why deplatform us all you want for no reason. 70. What they say? 70 million Twitter accounts purged because they posted pictures of themselves at a rally having fun in Washington that had nothing to do with what happened at the Capitol. Nothing. And so they get purged. Whatever. Whatever, dude. Parler will get back up, and Parler will be bigger than ever. And so we don't need you. And you're down 12% today. You'll be down 25% tomorrow. We don't care. Speed and numbers, babe. In 2 days, they're down 12%. What are they going to be down in 5 days? Right? Threaten. They want panic. John Fredericks Radio Network. Line 1, Laura in Florida. You're live, Laura.
Good morning.
Good morning, Laura.
I just wanted to say I myself, without being deleted by the companies, deactivated Twitter, canceled my Facebook, and I'm having a hard time pulling the trigger on Amazon because I love the convenience, but I'm gonna. So I just feel like we just all need to do it. We just in mass needs, like you keep saying, hit them where it hurts.
Yep.
Let's do it.
That's right.
Get off of it.
Damn right.
Stop. We're paying them to discriminate against us. We got to stop.
You're right. You're paying them. We're giving them money to bang us over the head with a club. It's insane.
Yeah. Insane. And our information. Their
Let 'em
information is what they make their money on.
Let them get their money.
off.
Let them get their money from Rufus the Democrat and the others, and he's on hold, and we'll get him on. He's got to hold through the bottom of the hour. You know what? Get the money from the Democrats. Get the money from the rhinos. You're not getting it from us. Laura, you got the right attitude, Laura. You got the right attitude. You got to fight back. When they're talking about putting Trump voters and those that worked on the campaign, many of which are my friends, on a no-hire list, so 25-year-olds can't get a job, it's time to fight back. Okay, I'm done with it.
And it's McCarthyism. It's
Totally.
McCarthyism all over again.
Totally,
And
but yes.
ACLU. Where are they?
They're a joke.
It's
Come on,
ridiculous.
Laura. Laura, they don't fight for.
You would think.
It's a double
I know,
standard.
but this is a big deal. Like,
Yep.
this is a big deal
Yep.
that they are really trying to cancel people
Yep.
for their political beliefs. Whatever. I'm doing what I can do. That's all we can do. Just everybody in mass needs to do it. Just do it. Pull the trigger. Do it.
Do it. Laura says do it. John Fredericks Radio Network. All right, let's get the phone lines, 888-480-JOHN. Let's get to Patty in my home state of New Jersey, where I grew up and went to college. That's fairly ridiculous. Patty in New Jersey, you're live.
Hi, John. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, Patty. Where in New Jersey are you from?
South Jersey, right across the river from Philadelphia.
Oh, my goodness. South Jersey. Yes, ma'am. Yes, we used
Good old
to
South Jersey.
when I was a little, my father used to take me to the beach in Asbury Park. Remember that? I used to go to Asbury.
I never went there. We went a little further south.
You went to Cape May and
Ocean City,
Wildwood,
Ocean
right?
City, Cape May.
Yeah, Wildwood.
Wildwood, yes.
Patty, what's on your mind? And I think you're now in the worst state in the nation with that whacked governor you got, right?
Yeah, he's pretty wacky. Yeah. We're living in the People's Republic of New Jersey, as I like to call it. But you know what, John? What's really weird is that I have a really calm feeling right now, and I don't know why. I've canceled my Amazon. I've got kicked off of Twitter. I'm getting ready to deactivate my Facebook. I'm disappointed that Steve wasn't on this morning because I understand he's going to be talking more about the power of your money, and I think he's going to talk about it today. He mentioned yesterday he was going to talk about it. Where do I go? Oh my God, there's so much. But I just have this calm feeling because I feel like Trump is opening everybody's eyes, and I feel like he's going to get rid of some of these big tech companies without even signing an executive order. I feel like it's happening right before our eyes because we're doing it.
Thank you.
Does that make sense?
Yes, and when you do something, you feel better, right? There's so many easy things that you can do. Get rid of Amazon, dump them. Did you live before Amazon? Yes. Did you exist before Amazon Prime? Yes. Did you live before Twitter? Yes. Facebook? Yes. All yes. You lived, right? Get out of Amazon. Get out of Facebook. Just get out.
I tell you, I miss my president right now. I miss that communication. And I don't know if anybody else feels like that.
I do too.
I just miss hearing from him.
I do
really miss it. Well, one thing I wanted to say to you is I don't know how people feel about Glenn Beck. They either like him or they hate him.
Mm-hmm.
But years ago in his heyday when he was really big,
mm-hmm.
And the Tea Party was getting big,
mm-hmm.
He had this segment on his show about send in your picture. Everybody send in your picture because we're bigger than them. We surround them. And when you think about all the millions and millions of people that voted for him, we do outnumber them. We are bigger than them. I think we have the power, but we just don't realize it until you start doing little things like deactivating Twitter and all that kind of stuff, getting off of Amazon. I'm dying to see what happens to Twitter. I can't wait. I couldn't wait to Monday to see how their stock went down. I cheered. so yeah.
It's a stock dump party. Really, every day. Here, you want something to cheer about every day? Go on. Where are they? NYSC. Look at their stock. Every day it goes down. It's a party. You'll laugh your tail off.
Absolutely.
I mean, absolutely. And until they lose 50% of their value, and their big stockholders start screaming bloody murder, because that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
That always happens, because at the end of the day, look, they've taken us for granted.
Absolutely.
They've taken us for granted.
But I just feel like I'm watching a show and I'm watching things unfold, and Trump is doing this all. We don't see him. We don't even hear from him right now. But all this stuff is appearing before our eyes, and it's wonderful to see.
Mm-hmm.
It's wonderful.
It's wonderful to see. It's a beautiful thing. See, Patty, you got the right attitude, right? We're gonna change it ourselves, and we don't need them.
Yes.
And the next thing you need to do, if you're with one of the New Jersey big banks that's screwing Trump voters, get your money out. They make their money on demand deposits. They don't make them on your savings account or time deposits. They make them on loans and demand deposits, where you put your money in your checking account, they pay no interest. Right? Take it out. Go to a credit union. Go to your little local bank up the street with two little offices and an ATM machine. You'll get over it. Thank you, Patty. Let's get to line 2. Brandon in Rich Vegas. Hey, Brandon, you're live.
Hey, John, and I hate to burst your bubble, but we got to all just boycott sports altogether.
Oh, Brandon, I tell you what. I compromise with you, right? I'm a Rockets fan for 50 years, since they first moved to Houston from San Diego. I've watched thousands of Rockets games. We go to Houston annually to see him play 2 times. And I had NBA Pass on DirecTV. And when they put Black Lives Matter on the court, I had enough. All right, I could deal with the kneeling. That's their personal thing. I couldn't deal with that. That to me was it. I canceled my NBA Pass. I canceled that. We're not going to see the Rockets play. I'm not following them. I don't care what happens to Harden. I don't care. So I compromise with you on that. But no, I'm not going to give up football. I'm not going to do it. And there's no reason for me to do it, because there's plenty of football players that are hard-working guys playing offensive line. And so, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to give up baseball either. There's plenty of Trump voters that play baseball. So a handful of people kneeling, whatever, okay? They don't show it on TV, and I'm not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater. But putting Black Lives Matter on the court in my face when they were burning down cities, I'm done. So maybe it'll go to football. I don't know. But go ahead.
Yeah, I've been done forever on it, even before Trump, just because of the politics and the BS. I've turned off any comedy shows, any talk shows, anything that goes political on the entertainment side. I've dropped, and I've dropped it for a long time, and I'm encouraging everybody that within reason to do the same thing.
All right. Well, thank you, Brandon. Now that the Titans are out, it's easy for me to give football up.
I hear you.
But see, I'm a football fan, so I will watch the games. But as far as the baseball is concerned, I'm an Astro fan, and as soon as the Astros are out, I'm done. Baseball season's over to me. I'm not a Major League Baseball fan. I'm an Astro fan. I hate everybody else. Let's get to Frank in Fairfax-Amania. Line 1, Frank in the People's Republic of Fairfax.
Good morning, John. How are you?
Good, Frank.
Wanted to say there's a couple other things that I like. For Jack Dorsey is not just Twitter, and I don't know if people realize this. He has another company called Square, which is a credit card processing company, which a lot of small businesses use. So that's another way to get at Jack Dorsey through his businesses. I think somebody needs to start like a stop the spend, since they're boycotting stop the steal, stop the spend, so we can have a place to know what we the places that we should stop using our money. And I also think, as far as Amazon's concerned, I don't know if 1 or 2 people every single day or 5,000 people every single day stop using Amazon. I think we have to have a shutdown day where, hundreds of thousands, 200, 500, whatever amount of people that we can get to just turn off Amazon. That's more noticeable than just a few a day or whatever the number is. But these are the things that I have. We need to get together, and I think hopefully Steve Bannon today will kind of make that clear on kind of how else we can hurt, or maybe not hurt, but just kind of change their mind on what they need to do with deplorables, conservatives, Republicans, however we're labeled ourselves, compared to Democrats or the far left. I mean, we need to have a little bit more organization than kind of where we're at. And again, that's just my opinion.
It'll come. It'll come. Look, it's been a few days. It'll come, right? It'll come. Parler will get back. They'll get a server. They'll get investment dollars. God works in strange ways. Sometimes you got to take a step backwards, and then you figure it out. It will come, Frank. We will figure it out. But thank you,
Gotcha.
Frank and Fairfax. Hang in there. Got to read a couple texts here. Sandra in Chesterfield says, "Good morning, John. Regarding big tech, it's like the old song. Got along without you before I met you. Gonna get along without you now." Oh, my goodness. Andrew from Michigan says, "Take your money and put your money into a credit union instead of a bank." Yep, got that right. That's what I did. Let's see. I've got another one here. I need your first name and your city, and then I can read it, and we'll go from there. Right? It's all good. All right, let's get back to the phone lines where we have Amy. Oh, it's a Fairfax. Amy in Fairfax, Amania. You're live, Amy.
People's Republic. With Amazon, an important thing to do is, 1, dump the stock. 2, more importantly, Amazon makes 90% of their money on the web services side of the house. Prime is pennies in a bucket to them now. The important thing to do is, if you work for a company that gets their web services from Amazon, that's what you get them to dump, because that's where they make their money. So you can drop your little subscription and they'll lose you $120 for a year. But if companies start dumping, getting off their on-ramp, that's where they make their money, and that's where it'll really hurt.
Well, I'm not with them, but you can't really tell companies what to do. But look, Twitter lost 12%, right? I want them to go down to 20, and then 25, and then eventually stockholders get pissed, and they're like, "What the hell are you doing with my money, with my investment, with my hedge fund, with whatever it is that I'm scamming you with? What am I doing? When Goldman Sachs executives lose their $250,000 bonus in March, they'll get pissed because that's their world, right? Move money around and get $250,000 bonuses so they can go out with Karl Rove, who bilks his donors and gets 18%, and they can buy two more yachts. That's all it is.
Or they'll, if they were smart enough to sell short, then they can brag how smart they are.
That's right. Thanks, Amy. All right, Stephen, thank you. Stephen, Clearwater, Florida says, "Everyone go buy a Trump flag and fly it high to show the 25,000 legal Biden voters that will never be silent, and we will win at the end." That's Steve from Clearwater. He might be onto something, right? He might be onto something. Trump didn't do anything wrong. The people that broke into the Capitol need to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, and I hope, and I'm sure they will. For the other million people that were standing around having a good time dancing on the square that never went to the Capitol, they didn't do anything wrong. They went to a rally like we've done, I don't know, 150 times or more. Right? Nonsense. But hey, let him impeach him. Right? Let him impeach him. Go ahead. Do it. And impeachment is going to be just another thing that the Democrats do to waste your time and money. But let them do it because, they need to assuage their base. Bill in Tampa. Line 1, Bill, you're live.
Hey, good morning, John.
Go Bucks.
Go Bucks. Hey, look, Raheem Kassam over at Steve Bannon's show.
Yes, sir.
He said he was going to be publishing a blacklist of those CCP investors.
Yes.
So next time you talk to Steve, you might see if we got an update on that list.
I'll jiggle his chain.
And also, I heard earlier a call from Tampa, a Marine.
Yes.
Well, I'm an old Marine, too, and I'm a little bit saltier than Steve from Tampa was. And we may have lost a battle, but we haven't lost the war.
That's right, Bill. That's the attitude to have, and thank you. Bill, an ex-Marine, we have not lost the war. We've just begun to fight now. Run to the sound of the guns. That's why I went to Georgia for 8 weeks, and I'm going back. Dr. Joe from Fairfax-Amania. Dr. Joe, line 3, you're live.
Hey, John. First I want to start out with something a little bit, and then I want to go into serious. But I mean it. You become like a patron saint for the disaffected. I saw this candle with Stacey. You need a candle like Stacey Abrams' prayer candle. You need that, okay? But I want to tell you this: for someone who's known you for a long time and loves you dearly, don't read your own press reports, okay? Don't read your own press clippings and get a big head on us, okay? Just stay John, okay? Stay John.
Okay.
Okay. Now let me get into the serious. I've been writing in my journal since, for years. And about 5 or 6 months ago, I noticed something, and I wrote in my journal, 2020 has become 1984 in 8 minutes and 46 seconds. Why 8 minutes and 46 seconds? That's the length of the video with the George Floyd video. George Orwell, in the novel 1984, said, whoever controls the past controls the future. Whoever controls the present controls the past. And if you'll notice, since then, that really has tipped the balance to the left to be able to change people's way of looking at history. We have the 1619 Project. We have the systematic racism that, America's founded on racism and slavery, even though that's not necessarily, there are incidents of that, but not necessarily true. And they've also been trying to rewrite the history of the people who supported Donald Trump. And so as a result of that 8 minutes and 46 seconds, plus this virus, look at what they've done. They've changed our country into all the things that happened in 1984. They've locked us up. We are spied on. They have taken all of the tools of communication. They control it. They get to control what facts are the facts. Whatever we say are not the facts. And when they can't win that argument, they shut us out. They cut us off. So it's a very dangerous time. And I'm with you that I think we've got to come back with voting. But I was also hoping I could talk to Senator Beach, because whatever Georgia does, they need to have an eye to a bill that the last Congress, it was the first bill that Nancy Pelosi introduced with the Democrat majority. It's called H.R. 1, and it's voting. It's about voting. They are going to control voting. We're not going to have voter ID. You're going to be able to do it with sworn affidavits. They're going to open up all kinds of things. But what I worry about is that they've got control over the means of communication and the means of knowledge now, John. And you're probably more important than ever. So I'm hoping, like I said, don't get a big head. Continue to become the John. But I'm going to change your name. No longer the Godzilla of truth. You are the Lord's waters of the disaffected Trump voter.
Well, that's got a ring to it. And
Okay.
as long as I'm driving around in my Saturn with 225,000 miles on it that Den Black invented, I don't think my head will get
Well,
too big.
you're gonna need the Lord. You're gonna need the Lord's water in a Saturn with 225,000 miles, John. You're gonna have to keep that going with faith. But
I'm gonna.
it's really scary.
Somebody then said, "When are you getting rid of the Saturn?" And I'm like, "When the day comes where I leave it on the side of the road." It's basically it. Get my stuff out of it, call AAA, have them tow it to the junkyard, and somebody will take me home or wherever I'm going. That's basically it. But no, I do hear you. And Jimmy in Indianapolis says, "Good." Jimmy in Indianapolis says, "Great analysis, Dr. Joe." So you got a fan there. Thank you.
Last thought.
Go ahead.
I think everybody, if we're not going to be on social, I've never been on the social network. I've recommended against it for other reasons, the privacy reasons and things like that. But if we're not going to be on social network, let's start reading again. And I think everybody in this listening audience needs to go and read 1984 the first time or the second or third time. You got to read 1984 and then read something by Ayn Rand, Atlas Shrugged.
You know what? I can't believe you said that. My wife just said that the other day. It's one of the greatest books ever written. I think they made a movie out of it. Part 1, Part 2 was. I think they're working on Part 3. But greatest book.
They're 3 parts.
Ayn Rand, greatest book ever written. Atlas Shrugged. I mean, it's a long read, but it's and her character development is fantastic. So if you have some time, definitely read that. Dr. Joe, thank you.
And one last one, John.
Yeah,
one last one.
Yes, go ahead.
One last one. Sinclair Lewis in 1936 wrote a book, It Can't Happen Here. And there's a lot of what he predicted in that, although he predicted it as being right-wing and taking over FDR, but it's called It Can't Happen Here by Sinclair Lewis. It's a kind of, some people know about it, but you'll see the armies in the streets. Thank
you. I got to go. Dr. Joe, thank you. We got a lot of callers on hold here. Hang in there, John. I got to go to Troy in Baltimore, line 1. Troy in Baltimore, are you there?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay, Lau, let me just, before you get into this, okay, you guys danced on my logo on Sunday after you picked off, our guy falls down, you make an interception, and the Ravens dance on my logo. I'm never going to forget that. Okay, I'm going to remember that for the rest of my life. I just want to tell you that I will never forget that. I hate your team, and you beat me, but you danced on my logo. I can't get the image out of my mind.
Well, that'd be even better for you if they lose. Then you'll feel better, right? If they don't make it,
exactly.
If they don't advance any further.
Dancing on my logo pissed me off. Go ahead, Troy.
Right.
Yeah, go ahead.
So listen. I got a question, man. I've been a Trump supporter all the way back prior to him even coming down the steps, and all this stuff that we're hearing. I'm a veteran, Navy veteran, 10 years, African American, and I've been running and supporting, getting beat up consistently by family, everybody you can shake a stick at. And, all this stuff that's supposed to come out, the exposure, the Q, and all this other stuff. And if something doesn't happen and Trump does not declassify, put this information out there, people are arrested. We thought Barr was going to be the savior. He turned out to be a big letdown. Mike Pence turned out to be a big letdown. Where does this lead? What is your opinion, and how do you feel, and where does this leave the base? And I know Trump's not the savior of the world, but good has got to prevail at some point in time. And my question is when? And I'm sure everybody else feels the same way.
Well, it's the $64,000 question, Troy. Number one, if there's a lot of things President Trump didn't do that he should have done. Naming a special prosecutor when he should have went through attorney generals one by one, fired each one of them until one of them would name a special prosecutor for the election. He didn't do that. But the thing that he's got to do now, he's got to declassify all this information. It's got to get out to the people, and it's got to get to WikiLeaks or some organization. He's got to declassify this information. We have to understand what is happening to us. And Barr, you're right. Barr, disappointment. Durham, whatever happened to that. Remember that guy, that inspector general guy? I mean, it's all slap on the hands, right? There's never been an accountability for the Russian collusion, for Mark Warner getting on TV every Sunday and telling us there was something there when there was nothing. It was a complete lie. He knew he was lying. There's been no accountability. And, I mean, we got to bring – it's not only bring closure to it. We have to understand what we're dealing with. And as I said, Troy, the movement has eclipsed its current leadership. I don't know what the future holds, but I do know that we have to figure it out together and stick together. Because if we don't, they're going to run over us. And that's what they're trying to do now. Crush the movement, crush your spirit. You can't get a job, scare you. I mean, you look at that, Troy, look at the article that the content vice president of Forbes media company put out. You shouldn't hire anybody that worked in the Trump administration. You shouldn't hire them. If you do, you will be shamed as a company. I mean, if that doesn't, I mean, forget getting banned on Twitter. I mean, if that doesn't just send chills up your spine, this is what we're dealing with.
It's discrimination on any level you want to look at it, and I don't care what nobody says. Okay, I can be tolerable of a lot, and I can deal with a lot. But when I'm an African American and I'm referred to as a white supremacist because I support somebody who is a patriot and supports our country and party supports the country. I mean, I'm through with the Republicans and this third party that's going to take place. We have got to have some serious marching orders coming out of this 2020 election. If things don't turn the way we all want them to turn it, we have got to have serious marching orders. I'm ready to put as much money as I can behind getting all of these ass clowns, excuse me for saying that on the air, out of office that don't need to be there. Term limits, every bit of it. I'm tired of it. And I know, everybody that's listening, I know they feel the same way. We have got to have some accountability somewhere to someone, and it can't be some low-level FBI lackey like they, Barr and then brought charges up on the one FBI agent, and that was supposed to make us feel better. I don't even know the guy's name per se, but it's somebody's head has to roll. It has got to happen, or people are not going to be satisfied. And the last thing I don't want to talk bad about the office of the president. If this other person gets into office, I won't talk bad about it. I won't put stuff on Facebook. I just won't do it because I respect the office, but I don't have to respect the person. And so I'm tired of it. Something's got to happen, and somebody's got to tell me something. That's where I'm at. Well, I think declassifying the information is key. If Trump doesn't do that, I think there's going to be a lot of disappointment. We've had his back. We believe in his policies. We've gone through a lot of crap for him. Some of the tweets he sent were, not particularly helpful. The first debate was a disaster. I mean, but we've all stuck by him. And now he needs to stick by us and declassify this information. That to me, if he does that, fine. If he doesn't, where do we go from here? I mean, it just makes everything harder, and I hope he does that. But, Troy, you're a man of great honor and greater courage, and thank you. Thank you. Thank you for doing what you do, man. Just keep it. We got to go underground, whatever has to take place. I know truth will prevail. God will get the glory and the victory, and it's just like God to wait till the last absolute second to make it all turn around. So that's what I'm holding on to, and that's it. All right, man, hang in there. It's all going to be fine. All right, let's get to Emily in Pittsburgh, line 3. Emily, you're live.
Hi. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, loud and clear, Emily in Pittsburgh.
Yes, perfect. I was calling because I heard one of your callers say how they have a Republican majority in the House, and how they can pass something to get, I think it was new voting
Yes, that was Senator Beach.
Voting.
Senator Beach in Georgia voter reform. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Why?
Because their governor, who they're saying is a Republican and everything, he's a rhino, Republican in name only. Literally, we've had so many examples of it, and we're not going to have a republic because don't you guys see the 1984? It's written on the wall. It's our reality right now.
So
And
you think
the
that
rhinos and
you think that Governor
Sorry?
Kemp you think that Governor Kemp will veto voter reform in Georgia?
Yes.
Well, I hope
Yes,
you're wrong.
I haven't been wrong yet with him.
No, that's true. I think there's going to be a tremendous amount of pressure on Kemp. I mean, he's on thin ice right now to sign this bill, and I think if he doesn't, he's not. On the other hand, he's not going to win anyway. So, he might not care.
We don't know that. The Democrats are in control of the voting. They're in control of everything.
Well, you
now.
got to change it. I mean, look again,
How
Emily.
do you-
We're going down this path of it's all lost. We can't do anything. We're going to go into a hole, buy MREs, and go into a bunker. Okay, I guess that's one option. I don't want to do that. I want to fight, right? And you know what? I don't know if Governor Kemp's going to veto it, but we have to put tremendous pressure on him. That's why I'm expanding my network in Georgia, and I'm taking on debt for that one reason, because we have to hold these people accountable. If they can get voter reform in Georgia and they can sign it, then you've got an opportunity to make that a model going forward for other states. But yes, they are. Look, they have power. And they're going to try to pass everything with universal voting. You'll mail out 330 million ballots. You'll be picking them up at Starbucks. I get it. I get it. But the only option we have, Emily, is to figure out how to fight back. And I get the despair. I get it. And I feel your pain. But I'm going to fight back. And so are you, Emily. At the end of the day, I know you will fight back too. And we're going to do with what we can with what we have.